Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Aviation, and this is really miserable. Yeah, welcome to Valdez, and it's snowy AF right now. We're looking at about 5 knots of wind from about 060, which is whatever, and low visibility and snow. So that's a problem. But we got cargo to get through. We've got to get to Thompson Pass and on to Charles Glacier, which is going to make things interesting. The layer is hopefully not too terrible, but we know it's definitely down here towards ground level, so we've got to try and work around this. The stuff's got to get through. So without further ado, let's get on to our business, shall we? And once again, my head tracking is being quite weird. Let's turn that off there. Let's re-engage it so it can actually work at what it's doing. There we go, that's better. Let's make sure we turned everything off with the cockpit first to do this properly. So that's on, that's on. We've got left tank selected. Okay, wonderful. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's on and operating. Let's get avionics turned on. The Garmin stack just turns itself on automatically for some reason. Okay, alternators on, avionics are on. Okay, those are all good. Okay. Landing and taxi are those two. Got it. So the two across from the right underneath my desk I can't see. So that catches here. So we're going to get ourselves taxied over towards the runway, which is going to be runway 6 today. That taxi light is very strong. This is really horrible visibility. We're going to be flying in mountains today, so this is going to be brave is probably the best thing I can describe it as. Brave is definitely a word to use. And it's Alaska during January, so this is lunchtime. Yeah, welcome to lunchtime. Okay, there's our taxiway we want. I think. If I crash into a mountain, I'm just uploading this regardless because you guys will probably enjoy that. Would this flight probably go out to these conditions? No, it wouldn't. But we're going to have a good old go at it anyway because I like suffering. And suffering's fun. And whilst we're taxiing out here, I want to make a comment because recently I had a critic or two who decided that that my style was too heavily focused on comedy and not on the facts. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but the comedy is tied directly into the content. Deal with it. If you wanted a very boring, serious, dry review, you can go to about 1 billion other channels. I don't do serious. I don't do dry. This is how I am. If you don't like it, go away. I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely fine with that opinion. I ain't gonna stop telling jokes. I ain't gonna stop trying to be funny. It's just who I am. Okay. Valdez traffic, November 403 X-ray, entering runway 06, departure straight out. I don't want to be looking for traffic, I won't be able to bloody see it in this. And no one else is this daft. This feels incredibly stupid, but there you go. Okay, here goes nothing, I guess. Off we go to Thompson Pass and hope and pray this works. Okay. I can't see Jack already. I feel like I'm in Star Wars. Already fully IFR. Oh, we have some visibility. Okay. Now, due to bloody necessity, I need to turn off the landing lights and taxi lights so I can see anything. Which might be mildly helpful in these conditions. We've just about got ground contact, so that's going to be a thing. Otherwise, it's going to be very milky out the front windshield for us today, so far at least. Although I'm hoping I can climb out of this squall and get some sort of terrain visibility as we climb. Oh good, terrain, my favourite. Okay, let's get ourselves to a safe climb. Level ourselves up. Climbing 2. Okay, stick to about 1,000 feet a minute. Let's drop the trim down a little bit. Hope we can pop out of this stuff. I'm bobbling around because I suck at IFR. This is why I rarely do it, because I'm very bad at it. I'm just seesawing because I'm relying too much on feeling and view, which is the main problem for idiots who can't do IFR, is they're too reliant on the VFR sensations. Which would be me. So that is my absolute flaw. And as I'm seeing here, there's terrain ahead of us. I'm pretty positive. There is terrain ahead of us. I'm going to have to go around. I'm not going to clear this, I don't think, in time, according to the radar. Nope, that's a trap. That is a trap. Don't go that way. Okay, we're going to continue climbing here till we can get some sort of clarity. Flaps are still down. I'm too focused on the flying instead of this. No. Come on, nose down. Go around the terrain. We're starting to get more visibility, which is good. Just not a lot. And that's way too close to a bush that I'd like to be. This is terrifying, and I'm trying to just get over this ridgeline to get towards Thompson Pass. This might have been me biting off more than I can chew, which I'm starting to agree with. This is a stupid idea, and I'm never going to make it. This is full-on IFR conditions, and I cannot IFR properly. This is a VFR pilot's worst freaking nightmare, and I'm in it. YOLO. Let's see what happens, shall we? There's a bit of trim in here to keep the nose pointing in the general direction, but not too much. Problem is, I can't balance out my pitch because I'm seesawing on the vertical speed, which could be correct, it could be incorrect, it could be influenced by drafts and updrafts and downdrafts, so it might not be that I'm suddenly wildly pointing in the wrong direction. In fact, my pitch is suggesting I'm still holding relatively true, but I'm catching up drafts. I do seem to be climbing pretty rapidly right now. Okay, we're returning to course now, and I'm gaining speed, so I'm going to try and get my nose down a little bit. There's the mountains below us. I am nervous. We're at 6,000 feet and climbing still, but we're returning to course, so I will turn more this way. And we'll get our nose level. You know what? I'm going to just chicken out here and use autopilot because I need help. It's too much for me to concentrate on at once. Heading mode's engaged. Autopilot's engaged for our altitude. Altitude is fine. And we'll let this do the work for us for right now, okay? So we're 4 minutes away, 9 miles, and I need to work on focusing on keep an eye on the bad stuff. We are popping out of it slightly, if only just. That's the ridge line. Are we going to clear that? We weren't, but we're clear now. We've got visibility. Just whoopsie daisy. Okay, I can fly this. This is fine. Oh my god, you don't know how relaxed I feel suddenly being able to see where I'm going. That is very snowy. It's an absolute winter wonderland out here. Oh my god, look at this. We suffered through it. We didn't die, which is the important part here. And I'm pretty sure we're going to drop back down into this soup in a second, but it looks like it's cleared out at least for now. Not sure if this is the actual valley Thompson Pass would be in, but we're 7 nautical miles out. Probably the far side of this. Because I believe the valley's a little wider for Thompson. So this one's kept me on my toes. So whilst I'm being critical of people making comments about me, and again, like, if you don't like my style of content, there are plenty of other places to go to. You know, I make no apologies that my content is intended to be shorter, it's intended to be simpler, it is intended for not the expert viewer. I'm making content for people who may be younger or newer to simming, who may not have the level of expertise that some people might, because the people with the expertise can often make their own decision or know exactly which content creator to go to for the exact type of review they want. My content is for anyone, but I'm trying to specialize in making sure it is shorter, that it is more information that is immediately relevant to your purchase than every nuance of your experience. Because overall, when I was coming up, I wanted to find stuff that was worth my money. I was a poor student. And I said to myself, well, if only people made videos of these things, and they didn't at the time. You had to search the internet for written reviews, and maybe you'd find a video, if you're lucky, on Bandicam. Some guy huffing into his microphone. It was a different era. And if I had videos that were online that showed, okay, so the performance in the sim is like this, it's not going to impact your performance in terms of FPS, because in FSX and P3D that was a huge issue. And also, okay, so this is how complicated it is, this is how easy it is to get used to, this is how well it flies. All that kind of information would be very relevant and useful. I'd love to have had it. Thankfully the skies appear to be clear down here for Thompson Pass, so we should be able to make it in. Because there's the road to the pass. Down there. There's the road snaking through the valley, so the pass should be down there somewhere. But I wanted the quick, punchy information, so I tried to provide that. You don't need to be an expert in that stuff. But there's, I think, our airport. This is very much a line up and hope, because if I end up into this soup, this is going to suck donkey stuff. Is that it? Oh, it's across the runway. No, we're coming across it. We're coming into the soup. Crap. Oh, bloody hell. If we make it into this, we're doing well. This is horrible, and I hate it, and I actually need to turn the lights off. Where are we? There's the road. We'll stick to the road, because we know Thompson Pass is near the road. Where are we? Come on. There's the highway. Okay. There's the highway. Where's the airport? As I can hope to see anything down here. Should be straight ahead, I believe. So we're going to switchy doodle to the left hand side of the road. And we're going to have a look here. I think we're just around this bend here. Am I basically on base? I think I'm on base. We are. No, not a chance of making that. Not a chance in hell. But the sky's clear enough. We'll be able to basically swing out wide here, turn around, bring it back in. I don't see a weather sock. So it's a guesstimate. We'll guess. North, south, it's one of the two. But we have got an escape if we go this way in. So we'll go this way in. We have a far better escape. Okay, power on. I need this. Try and bite me through this conditions. But, yeah, I try to make the content that is quickly accessible. I'm not trying to be full depth. I've never promised that I would be full depth. I never intend to be full depth and full detail. I'm not giving you an expert review immediately. I'm not trying to whip a video out before anybody else either. I just want to basically give you the quick synopsis. It's a first look. That's the point. Okay. Let's help her down. And I'll comment on this in a second, because I know someone commented on this last video when I tested her out. Boing. Oh, bunny hopping in the snow, not bright. Come on. Little bit of brakes, little bit of brakes. In the snow, not bright. No, this is come on, there we go. Good girl, slow down. That was scuffy as all hell. This whole flight's been scuffy as all hell. I'm just pleased to have made it. Hopping through the snow. Xbox is apparently behind my back. Ah, okay. Probably hit a snowdrift or two on landing. Okay, we're down at Thompson Pass, which means we'll get to turn around and head for Childs Glacier, which is our final stop. Okay, alright, grab your stuff, let's get out of here. Unlike a 206, this can actually open both its doors when you've got what do you call it? The flaps down, because they are far enough back with the spacing in the fuselage. Okay. We're going to run under the proviso the winds are low enough so I can just turn around and take off the back the way I came in, which should be fine if the winds are under 5 knots. It's long enough here. And if anything, the bouncy landings makes me think I had a slight tailwind. So this should be a headwind. I hope. There are many things I'm wrong about when it comes to flying. Many, many things. This is probably something I could have prepared for. I probably could have looked up data from somewhere, somehow, to find out what Thompson Pass's weather currently is. No idea. There we go. And we're up. I need to gain some speed before I try and make a turn here, because this will get me otherwise. There we go, over 100 knots. So I'm going to try and turn this around. The nose down. Give it some rudder. Go as far over the valley as we can be. Excellent. Okay, there we go. Deal with this snow ahead of us and we should be fine. We'll pop back out into the main valley and we'll shoot down south. That should do us. It'll be a little bit more terrain friendly than what we're dealing with, so it should be good for us. But no, in terms of the slip landing that I just performed, even though that was probably too quick, I wanted to get it down. You'll find a lot of times when I'm recording videos, I will put something down when I would normally go around. That's because I'm well aware the video is kind of getting on, and I don't want to faff around and waste your guys' time and attention. So I'll just try and go for it. Not the safest option, but it is a video and it is a flight simulator, so it's not the end of the world. However, the slip landing, that is a real technique. I had someone comment on the actual review video of this saying they've never seen someone so confident doing the wrong thing. You are incorrect. A side slip landing is very much a correct thing. There are two styles of flying. Flying by the speed, flying by energy. Glider pilots and people who've done gliding will fly by energy. Bush pilots will fly by energy. Because the energy is way more relevant to how your aircraft will take off and land than it is flying to speeds. You can point your aircraft at the runway and say, I need to be on 67 knots on my approach, but you'll land far longer than someone who lands at 67 knots with lower energy. Kinetic and potential energy, two very important concepts to learn and understand and how they affect an aeroplane. A slip is not remotely dangerous. Landing with using a slip is not dangerous. Is it trickier? Yes. Look at Spitfires and 109s. World War II fighters, they would often make a curved approach to final because of the long nose. The 207 is a very long-nosed aircraft. Look at this thing. Look at the schnoz on that. Really long. And the drone camera is not ideal for trying to prove a point here. Look at the schnoz on that. It's big. Yeah? Makes visibility harder over the nose. If you're kind of flying your standard GA approach like this, down towards your runway, you're going to have visibility issues, especially when you're landing on narrower, shorter runways where you need to be precise. If you're going into 4,000 or 5,000 foot asphalt runways all the time, yeah, you're great. Fly the numbers. Fly pointing straight at the ground. But you'll have a lot of excess energy and you'll need to brake more. If you're doing stall, or if you're landing into more difficult terrain, you want to land with less energy. Because you land with less speed, you need to brake less, and if you're landing onto gravel, for example, braking will be less effective than asphalt. So if I land with less energy onto that gravel runway, I'm no longer providing the same issue or needing the same amount of energy from my brakes to stop me as I would if I'd have come in faster or with more energy. I'm putting this on to help me seeing as I'm in this quagmire of snow again, because it's more reliable in IFR than I am. And I'm scared of myself. Right, there we go. We're in the pipe 5x5. Keeping this on because I can at least see what's around me. Whereas I can't. I'm in danger. Right, Child Glacier I've never been into before. I know there's a bridge there from the scenery, but I've never actually flown into it, so we're in for an interesting one, that's for sure. We're 5 nautical miles out, so it's not too far. So we should be okay, because we went round that big lump of mountains, so we should be okay here. Still in the valley, got the mountains off to my right there. Keep an eye on those. The power's pretty low, so I'll probably pick that up a little bit here. RPM's good. Power, we'll put it to 25 inches. A little bit less RPM. So right now we're putting about 100 there. What's our ground speed? 98. So little tiny headwind. Maybe 5 or 6 knots, which tracks with what I have for here, which is about 7 knots. we're looking at into Childs Glacier. I'll link the scenery for Childs Glacier and Thompson Creek, by the way, and Thompson Pass as well. They'll be in the description of the video, as always. One other thing regarding my videos that people often comment on, why do you always fly at the same boring Orcas Island? Because if I fly out of the same airport or the same small pool of airports, if I see an FPS score on my screen, if I see an FPS number, I know the performance is the aircraft, not the airport. Keeping things constant is helpful. Not only does it help you for review seeing the same approach, because you know I know the approaches to Orcas, you know the approaches I fly to these airports. It makes it easier for you, because you know I am keeping things as consistent as possible. So you know the nuances and differences will be the aircraft. See? Okay, got one of our waypoints here. And then we're turning. .7 or 070 should bring us on course here, maybe 7.5 or 8. I'll probably switch over to nav hold actually in a second. We're basically on track. We have capture. Okay. Clear skies up ahead. That's useful. We can see some terrain around us. Means we might survive this thing intact. We might make the end of this flight, which I wasn't sure I was going to. Left to 082, which is what we're now tracking onto. We are good. 19 nautical miles from here, 9 miles. And that takes us to another waypoint, I believe. Ah, yes, it does. So, to save you guys time, because this will be boring otherwise, we'll be back once we get a little bit closer to the airport. Because otherwise, we'll be sitting here in a blind out, doing nothing. Well, here we are, and at least there's some visibility ahead of us. It took us about 10-15 minutes to get to where we are right now. And we're coming up on the terminal lake at the end of the glacier here, which is where the airport should be. We descend over this and we look for where the lake is. There should be a bridge. The bridge will tell us where the airport is. The airport should be on our side and to the right of the bridge, if I know what I'm looking for. And I really know what I'm looking for, so there is that. But we can zoom in our navigation right now. I'm going to cut this corner, save us some time. Why bother going wide when I can go direct? Save some time. But at least it's appearing temporarily clearer, although that dark cloud in our front is mildly concerning. We'll have to see how it trims out. But this appears to be the glacier. There's the terminal lake down there. So this is all glacier. Look, okay, another thing people bring up with me a lot is I use American words. I work day in, day out with Americans. It's going to happen. I say their words. I do draw the line at basil and oregano. I will not say basil and oregano. Oregano? That's the one, right? No, I have some lines I draw. Italy's a lot closer to me than it is to you Americans, and they'll get me first. Oh, we're into soup again and I can't see a thing. I'm sensing terrain dead ahead. So we're going to turn. And hope I can see something. Well, there's the terrain. Whoa, we're descending way too quickly there. This is, again, the downside of being an idiot in IFR. We've got this in sight here. This is really difficult to see anything. Like, this is an actual challenge, this flight. I just hope it's clear enough when we make our approach to Childs Glacier. We can see what we're doing. Terrain is vaguely there. pitch a little constant, even though my vertical speed's up and down. Bouncy conditions in IFR are interesting. Okay. We're not dead yet. Positive components to this whole thing. About 1,000 feet, so a little bit low here. We'll gain some altitude for a little bit of this. Don't want to go too high. Let's level off the wings. A little bit of nose up. That's the high ground. So we meet again. My constant nemesis. How far away? 2 minutes. Okay. We can survive for 2 minutes. And this generally feels like 2 minutes of survival and I get my reward. Which is being able to show this to you. Because if I don't make it, then chances are you won't see it. Oh, you might. Actually, this much effort, you're going to see it regardless. So if I smash into the rocks, you will still see it. Okay, let's drop our nose a little bit here. Roll to the right. Try and rely solely on my instruments here rather than relying on what I can see out the window. It's a lot harder and I'm not very good at it. I'll be the first to admit my flaws. I suck at IFR. A lot of people are very good at it. I am not one of them. And I'm descending now. I'm constantly seesawing on my vertical speed. That's my biggest problem. Okay. Looking for a river's inlet ahead of us, I think. And if I'm correct, that would be a bridge. Yes. Airport should be somewhere here then. So I'm going to swing out to the left to see if we can get a visual. Drop a little bit of altitude here. At least it seems semi-clear. Ish. Ah, there we are. Right here. We'll check it out and then we'll go in. So I'll pull the power. It's clear. Okay, visibility's good. We can work with this. Just gonna slip down here to get a closer look at it. I'm not gonna land, don't worry. Okay, so it's not quite central in the little area there, little clearing. And there's debris at the side of the runway. Okay. Hi, bridge. There's a big-ass bridge all the way out here in Alaska. But apparently it's real, so there you go. Right. We shall not be long for this one. We're downwind plausibly here. So let's get ourselves configured. Prop full fine, that is good. We've got 10 degrees on the flaps. Looking good. And I'm pretty sure my viewpoint isn't dancing around like crazy, like with the head tracking on. I think it's pretty smooth, what I've seen. Let's bring around here. Let's get this lined up for this run-in. And look at that hill. There's the coast. There is the runway. Okay, looking good. Yes, there we are. 20 degrees flaps. I'll get full flaps for this. Soft terrain. Okay, turning final. Okay. And this is a straightened approach, by the way, compared to a slipping approach and something with a nose this size. It means your visibility gets very limited very quickly. Okay, we're still getting hit by some snow. We're about 70 miles an hour right now, or not. Slow that down. We'll pull the nose up here, should buy us some. Okay, down towards 60. We're going to put some power on here. This is where I have to crane my neck, keep my view in sight. Okay. See how hard it is to see anything over this? Massive schnoz. Please stop. Please stop. I'd like to stop. Flaps coming up. The electrics, so I have to start doing it early. Yeah, we actually landed upwind perfectly. Ah, okay. Let's get this thing parked and call it a day. Parking brake on. Whew. And that is, as they say... Oh, that's pretty. Look at this spot. The bridge over there. Droners around. The sun behind the bridge. Ooh, that is pretty. I like that. You know what? It's sites like that that make flying like this so worthwhile. Thank you for suffering through this one with me, guys. That was actually difficult. I felt really challenged. Look at that. That's stunning. I like that. Thanks for watching. Bye.